Welcome to Saints on Cinema. I'm Tim Wild, and this is Josh.
Hi, I'm here.
He's here, and I look like crap. I threw on a t-shirt, and I just washed my hair. And Josh texted or called me, and he said, "Hey, we're gonna record this new trailer conversation, or the conversation about the trailer of the Cobra Kai series season 3 thing." And I was like, "Okay,
This is all a part of that new really tight thing that Tim was talking about. It was gonna be tight. It's gonna be good. Yeah.
I never said good. Good was never on the table.
We never made that promise. Yeah.
Still us.
So tonight we are watching the new trailer dropped yesterday for Cobra Kai season 3. I'm super excited about this. And so I actually contacted Tim and said, we need to record because this is why I did this, was so that we can talk about important things like Cobra Kai and the meaning of Mr. Miyagi in all things. So
important things like, yeah. And then I said, okay. And then we set a time. And then I worked a really, really long day today, came home, relaxed, taking a bath. And then Josh called me and said, we're doing this. I said, oh yeah, huh? And then hence my hair looks like this, my lighting looks like this, the blotchy white light on my face looks like this, and I don't care. Josh said, "You want?"
Well, this is, Tim. It looks pretty much like it always does, so we're fine.
Sounds good. All right. So anyway, this is our Revelations episode of Cobra Kai season 3, third trailer. Even though, just so you know, Josh, I'm only doing this for you because I stopped watching trailers after the first trailer of anything. So we're kind of a big Cobra Kai thing. So, I'm doing this one for you, but most other things I'm not going to do.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm glad that you were able to do this for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big sacrifice.
Solid.
Yeah. Anyway, because I can wait. We're like, what, a month and a half away from...
January 8th. We are less than a month away.
January 8th. I said January just now, if you caught that.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I might be taking January 9th off of work because I'm going to have to recover. I'm going to stay up all night and watch the entire thing in one sitting like I did the last 2 seasons.
I think I broke them down like 4 and 4.
Oh yeah,
the whole thing. I can't remember.
I guess you're just not as hardcore as me there, Tim.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier for me because if it drops at midnight on Eastern, it's only 9 o'clock my time. There's only 10 episodes, so I can get it done by 2 in the morning if I just keep watching them.
For me, it's like 3 in the morning. So much different. All right, let's go ahead and watch this trailer. Josh hasn't seen it. I haven't seen it. And I didn't even watch the second trailer, I don't think. Is that the one that everyone thought was chosen? That's the second one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But not the original teaser one? I thought that was the first teaser one.
No. The original teaser one is the one where they thought it was chosen.
Yeah, that's all.
There's not really any discussion of chosen in the second trailer.
Yeah, and I kind of hope it's not chosen, but we'll talk about that when we actually watch the show.
But we do know from the second trailer, that Miguel wakes up, so he's not dead. We know Robbie's in prison, so we know that.
And he should say that. He's gonna get beat up by some juvies.
Okay. So anyway, we're gonna learn more here.
Yeah, ready to do this?
Yep, let's do it.
I'm gonna cut through here or mute it out, and you can watch our reaction as we push play. But I'm not gonna show the trailer through the editing magic I can perform because I don't want to guess.
Oh, you got to do some editing, so we're gonna get this after Cobra Kai's released. Got it. Okay. Here we go.
All right. 3. Are you queued up?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. 3.
I thought I was doing the right thing, but I failed you.
The truth is, you got sauce, and we paid the price.
Cobra Kai, it's yours.
The trouble was because of us. The trouble was because of us. Because of our issues. Only way to end
Aha!
together.
Yes!
What do you say?
Your enemies think they're the hero, and you're the villain. There is no good. Look at this freak.
Kyler!
Only weak.
Oh no!
Tango and Cash were narcotics detectives.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're like the cops, right? I'll be with
Eh.
I'll try to be.
There he is, the juvies.
One thing I do know for sure. You can't run away from your problems.
Never can't. Is it just words are meaningless? Is it just words are meaningless?
Oh.
You're not a kid anymore. The oldest is just gonna hand it to you.
Yes.
If you have to crawl across the floor, use your damn teeth.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll always be your teacher. Sorry, you felt like a champ. Sorry, you felt like a champ.
Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh! My mind is blown! Oh my gosh! Oh, there was so much in that!
Okay, you ready to unpack? First of all, what was it you were most excited about just now? Was that the picture of
Kumiko! Kumiko's back!
Oh, I didn't notice her. I missed it.
What, you didn't notice
I
her?
went so fast. I saw Chosen. I was like, why is Chosen? And then started thinking about how much I don't want Chosen to be in this. But go ahead. Yeah.
Kumiko is back.
And I gotta go back and look again.
The best love interest of all of the Karate Kid series is back. I want to know where she's been, what she's been doing. Holy crap. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I gotta find
And
it.
Chosen's back. So that's
Yeah.
great. So we're going to hear what the secret Mr. Miyagi had was.
That's stupid.
awesome.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, she was quick.
Just as we expected, or just as I expected and predicted, now Daniel and Johnny are going to be working together against.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Pay attention, Tim.
Yeah, it's fighting against the guys in the junkyard. Whatever. Oh, she's beautiful. Is that her?
You are the worst.
That's not her, is it?
That is Kumiko.
This shot where she like looks up, is that the? I mean, you can't. I'm not gonna turn my screen.
That is Kumiko. Yes.
Wow. She's beautiful. She aged gracefully. That doesn't look like her. Anyway, okay, so go ahead. You're excited about the she's the greatest love interest and all that stuff. Is that her? That's whoops, that's still my camera. That didn't work. Here, is that her? That's what you're talking about?
That is Kumiko. Yes.
I'm not.
Oh, you're right. It's just some random Asian lady from Okinawa. It's not Kumiko at all. Come on.
They're all the same.
Yeah, it's
She just looks-
Kumiko.
This looks like a longer face. Anyway, she's beautiful. Okay,
So,
all right, go ahead.
okay, so quit fawning
What is
over her. We've known she's beautiful since the 80s. Okay, so
Yeah.
Kumiko is back, which is great because if you remember in Karate Kid Part 2, he fell in love with her. They did the tea ceremony, which is symbolic of the love that they have in Okinawa, right? And then when you learn in Part 3, when he comes back, that she got a
With
dance
some ballet
scholarship.
school and
Stop interrupting me. I'll explain it. Dance scholarship. She got a dance scholarship in China and decided to go to China instead. Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. We have to have I forgot. Unless you're talking 3/4 of the time, it's not interesting, right? Pay attention. So she's back. We're going to find out what happened to her. That's exciting. Okay. We're going to find out what happened to
What if she
Chosen.
performs a dance? Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna find out what happened to Chosen. Hopefully, find out what happened to Sato. You do remember in Part 2 that Chosen had lost all of his honor in his mind, and then he got beat up by Daniel and lost the fight. So who knows what happened to him?
Sato was dead or Chosen was dead to Sato.
Right.
The line was, "Now I am dead." No, he says, "I am dead to you."
Yeah.
Was that the line by Sato? Wasn't it the
Well,
line?
yeah, but then, no, he said, "To you, I am dead."
Yes.
And then,
because that's right. He thought he died. He says, "I thought you were dead," and then he goes and helps him. That was pretty good. That was my
that was
voice.
actually a really close rendition to what he said. Yeah. Wow, that was really impressive.
I actually was gagging as I was talking. That was just miraculous.
But
then it says-
but then at the end of when he tries to say something to Chosen to tell him to stop, he said, I can't hear you, Uncle.
I can't hear you, Uncle. You're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now we'll find out what happens to him.
But first, Sato went out, helped them. He said, Sato, go, or Chosen, go help. And he says, I can't. And they did it again.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this.
When my voice cracks, I'm a good Chosen. Anyway, he goes in the back, and then he comes in and says, now to you, I am dead.
Right. Okay. So that's all. We're gonna find out all about that. We're gonna get. Of my opinion, I think the most underrated show of the Karate Kid is Part 2, and I think it's really interesting. So I'm really excited to hear more about what they're gonna do with that. So they talk about there also. They have little blips when they talk about forget old alliances. Right. Now we'll see if there's any sort of alliance coming through with John Kreese. We also saw possibly Terry Silver, possibly Mike Barnes.
It's too early to bring that stuff in. Nothing's been announced, I don't think.
Nothing's been announced, but they could be saving that. And who knows? There's a 4th season coming, so it might come in the 4th season. Anyway, but another thing that we see in there is Johnny goes to Miguel, and he's going to help him rehabilitate, so that's helpful.
And gives him a hug.
But we also see that John Kreese approaches Robbie in the jail. So there's that too. So that means that John Kreese is going to go after Johnny's kid, which is going to be interesting because it'll be interesting to see if Daniel or Johnny approach Robbie at all. I'm guessing if John Kreese is there, that they probably haven't at all. So something else that I think is really interesting is there's not a lot of, in this trailer, there's not a lot of mention of Tori. There's a little bit of Tori, because she took off.
There's like some action sequence in there.
Well, sure. Well, the action sequence at the beginning is just from the end of season 2.
No. In the middle there, she steps in. I love when Mrs. Daniels whatever her name is, smacks Kreese in the face. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
Okay.
And Kyler's back.
Front Sam in the backyard. That's where that is. Okay. What?
Kyler's back. Did you see Kyler? Kyler was.
Oh yeah. He's in the dojo. He's in the dojo.
Yeah, so he's going to be with John Kreese, and
that'll be fun.
And the interesting thing about that is you'll learn from an episode that we've recorded but have not released yet how much Kyler and his people are like the Cobra Kai of season 1.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting how that's going to work.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see the dynamics, to see where Robbie ends up in all of this, and also to see where if Kyler comes in. We'll see if his buddies like Brooks and those guys come back.
Yeah.
Haven't heard, don't know, but interesting stuff there. So pretty excited about season 3. It's going to be pretty awesome. What was it? Did you have anything that stuck out to you other than what I've just talked about?
I don't like the Johnny and Daniel fighting together, fighting those other gangs or those bikers or whatever it was, and I don't know. You
mean the scene or the concept of them actually coming together?
The concept. The scene looked, I don't know. It's like one high kick and the guy goes down. I don't know. It's too quick to wrap that up after how the last one ended. I trust the writers. They've done a really great job. I'm just like, it's a little too forced if you ask me. Cause I've not been satisfied with either confrontation between Daniel and Johnny in the first 2 seasons. And if they don't ever have a good satisfying one, and then they end up like just water under the bridge, and then they're just gonna let's join as an alliance and fight Kreese.
See, I totally disagree, and I'll tell you why I disagree.
Because I'm always wrong about everything.
Yeah, that's part of it, but I think there's more to it. I think because you're right, there hasn't been like a satisfying thing, but I have been looking for Daniel and Johnny to become friends.
I do too at the end, but this is in the middle of that climax where the tension is the greatest right now. After what happened at the high school and Robbie's now in jail and Miguel's like in the hospital, like this is some pretty drastic stuff for it to be like, okay, let's just be friends now.
I don't think that's the thing is the way that the voices were, the way that we're talking, because you hear Daniel in a voiceover kind of like saying, they're in this place because of us. We need to fight this, yada yada yada. So obviously there's some sort of argument that they have where they're talking about all this. So I don't think it's going to be a situation necessarily where they're just going to be like, let's be friends, okay. I think there's going to be some tension there that needs to be worked out, and there's probably going to be tension even when they do agree to come together. They're not buddies yet, you know what I mean? And I think that the thing that's been great about this season is every season there's been a moment where you look at it and you're like, man, in another world, Daniel and Johnny would be like best friends.
Right.
And so we're just going to get closer to that. I'm sure there's going to be twists and turns where they're fighting each other and stuff like that. But,
Right.
At least, and we know there's going to be at least a little bit of time where Daniel goes to Okinawa and Johnny's not going to go with him.
Of course.
Or maybe Johnny does. I don't know. I mean, that'd be interesting to take Johnny back there. But
So real quick, the scene with Kumiko looking up and looking at Daniel. They're outside somewhere. Daniel is in a different shirt in a bar where he looks over his shoulder and sees Chosen come in, and he has that glare on his face. And he's wearing some weird, lame Hawaiian shirt. I'm sorry, I don't like Chosen looking like a tourist or some lame, casual Okinawan guy, because he's like this big outlaw that like took out a butterfly knife and tried to kill a girl to get his rival to come up and fight to the death in front of the entire community. It's like, that guy doesn't just like go and like buy some flower Hawaiian shirt and just hang out at the local bar.
Hold on though. Okay, I understand though. It's been 30 years.
I know, but and this looks like the reveal. He just steps in, has this little scowl on his face. But then the next shot where they're fighting, which seems like that's the scene where he throws him down in the first trailer. That Daniel's wearing. They're in a gi. Like this is a different scene. So there's some kind of a confrontation that happens in that episode. I bet you it's just one episode. I bet you anything it's just one episode in Okinawa.
I hope not. Man, I hope they at least give that 2 or 3. Because I mean that's a long way to go for one episode. Fly all the way across the world.
I'll bet you. You know what I bet? I'll bet you he's already there at the beginning.
Maybe.
I'll bet you the beginning of the series. I bet you that's within 1 or 2.
Maybe, probably. I would say
we're gonna hang on that one.
You think that he goes to Okinawa, and when he comes back from Okinawa, he realizes it's time to patch things up with Johnny? That's probably what happens. I bet he goes over there. He talks to Kumiko. He gets buddy with. He sews things up with Chosen, and then he realizes he needs to sew things up with Johnny. I mean, something like
that. That's cheesy and lame.
If they do it well, though, I don't know. I mean,
real cheesy and lame. Okay.
Is it bad that I want him to split up with his wife and end up with Kumiko?
I think instead of that, I think his wife should leave him because he's a freaking tool. Okay. Then he can go find Kumiko.
Here we go. Irrational hatred
of Okinawa. What?
Here comes irrational hatred of Daniel in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here's what we need to do.
Almost as irrational as your love of the Alf Christmas special.
Okay, here's what we need to do. Before we watch the next season, we need to do a predictions discussion. We're going to watch We're going to watch Karate Kid 2 separately, and we're going to come back and do a feature talking about what either lines or details or dialogue or Easter eggs or whatever they're going to pull from that movie and put into it. Because I'll bet you it's going to be loaded. And it's not I
don't even need to watch it. I could have that conversation yesterday.
Well, did you have it yesterday?
No, but I could have that conversation.
I need to watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. I think, now that I think about it, I really do think that Karate Kid 2 might actually be the one I've watched the most.
I have.
Yeah.
I was living in Hawaii when it came out, and so like all this stuff on the airplane, the late night, the conversations, the scene, the set, and it was filmed in Hawaii. And I didn't know that as a kid, but like everything about it just reminded me of home. And I loved karate when I was a little kid. And so like watching the Karate Kid and then watching this really badass Okinawan fighter, like I was like, that is so cool. Like he's like a real villain, and he has chosen as clearly the greatest villain in the Karate Kid franchise. I'm not saying the best character. I'm saying he's like the most villainous, real threat to Daniel.
Wow.
So anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the thing that's great about Chosen is that in all of the fights, the fight with Chosen has the highest stakes by far. Because Mr. Miyagi, and that's what's so great about Mr. Miyagi, in one line, he makes the stakes clear when he says, this is not a tournament, this is for real.
This is right.
Like, and because even with Mike Barnes, even though he was such a jerk and all those things, in the end, it was just, they just wanted to beat him in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like if he just lost the tournament, that was it, and they'd all move on, and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
You know. Whereas this, it's like honor. It's, you know, he learned about it because Mr. Miyagi had told him, like, Sato had been carrying that for 40 years.
Right.
By the time, you know, he came back to Okinawa. I mean,
But
man.
more important than that, though, is he already had told Daniel that it says no matter what happened when he was going to fight Sato, he said no matter what happened, Miyagi already won. So I mean, Daniel learned the lesson that, like, you know, if he has to go fight this kid to save the girl's life, what else is he going to do? You know, it never got heavier than that in the third movie, which is.
I am so excited that Kumiko's back. I'm really interested in why Kyler is back. I think that's great.
He needs to learn how to beat up Miguel, get his vengeance.
I know, that's what I'm saying though, is that's like, because that guy was already a bad dude.
Hey, guess
Imagine that dude with Kreese, you know, and on top of that, also, like, oh man, being there with Hawk, who he used to beat up on and stuff like that. Like, man, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So
looks awesome.
it does look awesome.
Dude, okay, so this Johnny fight with Daniel, they're just in the garage talking, and then these guys come in, and then they break out into a fight with Johnny and Daniel. This is going to be the third season version of how they kind of get close and are friends for just an episode, and then go back into their corners. I don't think they're like allying.
I don't think so. I think this one's
this
for
is
real,
some written in encounter just for fun.
because I think Johnny has finally realized that Cobra Kai is not going to work, and he's willing to try.
He agreed. That's why he threw his liquor bottle at the car and said, "Screw this. This is not what it's about. Miguel's my only responsibility anymore. I mean, I can't do anything else about Robbie because he's a lost cause and he's a loser like Daniel." But he's like, Miguel is the one that I took under my wing, and I need to fix that. So anyway, it looks awesome. I'm excited about all the characters.
I got to tell you, now that I've watched that, I can see why you don't watch the trailers. Because it would have blown my mind the second I saw Kumiko.
But you knew she was coming. You knew.
Oh man.
But
so
but that's what I'm saying. It's just images. Like now I'm watching when he goes into a bar, I'm like, oh, Chosen's gonna come in. You know what I mean?
So okay, here's the thing though. They put a teaser about Allie in season 2 at the end. They don't do that unless they know Elizabeth Shue is coming back.
That's not true. I mean, they may have been wishful thinking. It's not like they're like not gonna do that without a contract. Because it was after the last season that there was a lot of stories that Ralph Macchio was sharing in interviews and stuff about her departure from the story and everything back in the day. I watched a lot of interactions about that, and it seemed like it was just like, how can we get her back into the game? I don't think she's going to have anything to do with Miguel's recovery, because that was a lot of the people's theories. Was she was like, her husband was a
her husband is like a pediatric surgeon or something like that, I think.
Yeah, brain doctor or whatever, and and they were like, oh, that's how she's gonna come back, because she's gonna be the only one, or her husband, because the only one that can fix him or something like that. Yeah, I think they're just gonna go the wounded puppy recovery story.
We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, looks awesome.
That would be, I gotta tell you, that would be really impressive foreshadowing if that were the case, because you only hear about them being doctors and stuff in the first season. So they would have been planning that the end of that second season and her return in the third season in the first season, if they were trying to plant that as the reason, you know, because like that'd be a pretty amazing foreshadowing to work.
But they may have just written that as just a part of the script, and then had the idea at season 2 when they were writing season 2 and say, oh, you know what, this is a way we can have Allie come back. All she did was answer the friend request.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. But I so far, every time that they've brought back, including even the mom, when they bring back the older characters, every time they've done it, I've really enjoyed the way they did it. The Cobra Kai reunion was so great, even though Chad McQueen didn't come back to play Dutch.
Yeah.
You know, they was so beautifully done. So I'm really interested to see how they do with Daniel and Kumiko.
I'm
That'll
really touched looking at these shots of Johnny and Miguel, like literally, the hug, him helping him picking him up. I'm being emotional and tears are not.
Are you getting teary-eyed?
No,
On
no,
the trailer.
no. Just looking at these still shots. I'm not going to put them on the thing because I don't want to. But like, there's a good little cuts there where not just the falling out of bed, but he's wearing different outfits. There's a little montage of him, of Johnny there helping him recover, and like that's so cool that he's putting his intense training and his discipline into helping him heal instead of helping him to be aggressive and fight. And then him squeezing his hand and the guilt and everything he feels. Like Johnny's just such a good character. I don't know why you guys are all hung up on this Daniel boat, but whatever.
It's not being hung up on a Daniel boat. It's recognizing that Daniel is not a jerk and he's not a bad guy. He is Johnny, just with Mr. Miyagi. They're the same person.
Okay.
You're the worst. You're the worst. I don't even know if I did this.
Or my revisit going through it, I'm on season 2, like a third of the way through, watching with a friend who hasn't seen him before. And every episode, I'm like, see how like Johnny's like progressing. He's trying his best. He's doing better. He's trying to mature. He's like cleaning himself up. He's trying to reach out to Robbie and stuff. And then Johnny's just like or Daniel is just like, he's a jerk and makes worse decisions. And Miguel's like he's trying his best to be sincere and genuine with Sam. And then Robbie's like an opportunist and taking cheap shots and all this stuff. And I'm like, see how there's like kind of a winning team here and then kind of a villainous team here? It's not just the sensei.
I don't think that's it at all. I think that Daniel is trying to make his way in a post-Miyagi death world where he doesn't have somebody who's helping him, just like Johnny doesn't have someone who's helping him. And Johnny makes bad decisions too.
Yeah, his literal dialogue.
Remember that this show is filmed from Johnny's perspective.
No.
It's Cobra Kai. So it's going to make him look more sympathetic.
But for the audience view, the actual dialogue coming from Daniel's mouth is like, oh, Cobra Kai's bad. We got to stop it. Not on my watch. Stupid crap like that. I'm like, who do you think you are? This is not, I mean, whatever. And that's like, his wife called him out at the end of the last season. Like, dude, this crap is over. You're done. You're done. No more stupid karate.
And here's the thing, though. He's right. Look at what's happened. Now one kid's in prison. The other kid
by Daniel's student.
Johnny's son.
Daniel's student. Johnny didn't teach him like that.
Johnny is the reason he was that hothead, and Daniel's been trying
to
keep him up.
He did not beat up Miguel out of some problem with his dad. He beat up Miguel because he was a horny, emotional, jealous boyfriend who got cheap shotted by Miguel, and Miguel beat him, and he was just a punk about it. And then Miguel kept his cool after Johnny's tutelage, kept his cool and like let go and showed mercy, and then bam, got sucker punched and crippled.
Yeah, and that was not a Daniel thing or a Mr. Miyagi thing. That was
teaching the Jedi ways to Anakin, who turned into the dark side. Sorry, Robbie is your villain. Keep him in jail. That's my closing thought.
You're the worst. You're everything that's wrong with Saints on Cinema.
All right. Well, much more of this kind of conversation to come in future seasons. We'll be breaking down, unless Josh decides to take another Cobra Kai vacation for season 3. We're going to break them down like we did before. We'll do an overall and then 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, going in and talk about all the details of why Robbie is a punk and Daniel is a tool and Johnny is the man and Rob and Miguel is just our hero of this story.
Okay, so here's the deal. When we do this, we have to agree that we're going to leave our opinions about the characters until the very end, because my favorite part of Cobra Kai is catching all of the things that they do to do throwbacks to the original. And I just want to
fantastic. It's fan service done right.
Yeah, so anyway, really excited. I'm glad it's finally here. I was just telling somebody, this is probably I can't think of another show that I'm more excited about. Maybe Stranger Things is the only other one where I'm like really, really, really excited about, but that's not even close to.
I was gonna say you're more excited about Stranger Things. Stranger
No, I
Things
didn't
is
say
awesome.
more. I was saying I can't think of one that I'm like nearly as excited about when it comes out. I remember the last season of Stranger Things. I was really excited when it came out. But
We didn't
Cobra
do a
Kai,
discussion about that.
because Cobra Kai is such a good like just blast from the past,
Right.
like 80s. I mean, it's the best throwback I've ever seen. So
Fantastic.
just looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's our Revelations discussion on Cobra Kai Season 3, Trailer 3. Yeah, so anyway, I've been Tim Wild.
And I am always Josh Edlow.
And I'm always right. Thanks for watching.
Wrong.